Greenville's 2020 season began with a 6-match unbeaten streak, but it came to an end at the hands of New England on a rainy Wednesday night at Gillette Stadium. Nearly a year later, the 2020 champs finally have their chance at retribution. Could we be in store for an early afternoon firework display? Revolution, Triumph, the League One Independence Day Special is next. Beautiful day in Foxborough, Massachusetts at Gillette Stadium for this one between Greenville and New England, brought to you by United Healthcare. I'm Joe Malfa with you today. Happy 4th, everybody. Glad to have you with us on ESPN Plus. In between your barbecues, I'm sure. Plenty of fun to have the rest of the day, but plenty of fun to be had here tuning in for this one. We'll take a look at the standings here in USL League One. Greenville, they've struggled of late, but they're still near the top. 3rd place, tied on points with Chattanooga. Then you look at New England. They're in 9th, but look from 4th down to 9th. Everybody there, just a couple points between each other. A win for New England today would go a long way to getting them in that playoff picture. And they will look to Colin Verfurth to help them out. He's back in the fold. He's the Santander player to watch today. He spent some time with the MLS squad this year. He's only made 2 starts today, making his 3rd start. When these teams met last year, that win for New England, he had 11 clearances in that one game. He was an animal all over the field. They will rely on him to help get the 3 points today. Now Greenville, up and down. Up at the beginning, down since then. They started 4-0-1, 1-2-2 since. Look at the goals conceded. 0.4 in the first 5, 2 per game in the next 5. You can't fault them for it. They played 5 games in 13 days. They've had a slew of injuries, but they are out of that tunnel now. They're back to a more normal schedule. They're getting some players back. Look for them to kick it into a higher gear. Starting today, looking for revenge against New England. A big one coming up here on the 4th of July. Greenville Triumph, New England Revolution coming up next from Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Just about set to get things going here at Gillette Stadium. New England and Greenville. Big match for both of them. The only match of the day here in USL League One after 4 matches yesterday. And the head coaches in this one, Clint P.A. for New England, John Harks for Greenville. Very familiar with each other. They spent a lot of time as teammates back in the day, early days of the MLS. Won a couple of MLS Cups playing for DC United under current New England Revolution head coach Bruce Arena. The two go back and forth throughout the season, sharing ideas, joking around together, but all business today. A look at the starting lineup for New England Revolution, brought to you by Michelob Ultra. More of the same from what we've seen. Noel Buck, the 16-year-old, leads the way with 3 goals for New England. Ryan Spalding has also played very well down that left side. With PA very happy with the way he's looked. And now it'll be up to that back line to help stop Marius Lomas today.
Dangerous in and around the box, good finisher, intelligent with his movement. He only needs a half chance to score, so he'll be a threat anytime there in the final third.
Lomas up there atop the formation again. Lineups now brought to you by Michelob Ultra for Greenville Triumph. Alex Morel has struggled to get going this season, but up there with Lomas, who has 8 goals. Those two could combine at any point. Clint PA very familiar with Lomas, having coached him at North Carolina. So plenty of connections there, and they know what they have to do to stop Lomas. Just about ready for kick. Kenneth Rojas, the referee, checks his watch. Greenville in the road whites. New England in their home blues. Fans filing in. Underway at Gillette Stadium. Second ever meeting between these two teams. Last year, August 26th, a 1-0 win for New England. The only meeting so far. Greenville just got out of their rough stretch. 5 games in 13 days. Injuries mixed into the equation. Short rest in between. Guys playing 90 minutes that really shouldn't have been at times. Guys playing out of position. But John Harkes says it's not all bad. A lot of silver linings come out of it, especially newfound depth, knowing that as this season goes along, whatever pops up, it's not going to be as hard as that stretch was. And they got through it. They got better as that stretch went along. 2 losses in their first 3 matches of that stretch, starting with a 3-0 defeat at the hands of North Texas. But the last 2 games, a pair of draws in there against Madison and Chattanooga, 2 tough opponents in the playoff picture. So things started to get better, and Greenville feels they are coming out of this little funk. And again, no fault of their own. Very, very tight schedule, and just a number of injuries that have hurt the cause. There's Buck. Again, leads away for New England with 3 goals this season. Finds Spalding.
I think it's just a raw talent. I think, like, that would have right over
Kaye inside. Over the top. Polak heads it away as Sierakowski fought for it. The PA thinks Sierakowski is nearing a breakthrough. Hasn't scored since the early stages of the season. Feels he's due. He's in and around so many dangerous plays. He helps create down the wing. He helps create space for the likes of Renix. He battles just like that. Heavy pressure on that top line. Just a matter of time before that goal falls. Sierakowski, the 24-year-old from McHenry, Illinois. 23rd pick in the 2019 MLS draft. Looking to find his form again. Muhammad sends it in towards Lomas. Albi Muhammad back from injury as well for Greenville, so slowly but surely getting their players back. Again, started 4-0-1 in their first 5 games, 1-2-2 in their next 5 games, and big disparities in some statistical categories. Those first 5 games, they were averaging 1.8 goals per game. Since then, just 1.2. In terms of goals conceded, they were averaging 0.4 goals against in the first 5 games. 0.4, that is. And now since then, they're giving an average of 2 goals per game up. Drastic difference. And it comes to the shots on target faced. In those first 5 games, they were only facing 2 shots on target per game. Since then, they're facing 6 shots on target per game. That's something that John Harkes wanted to clean up. Couldn't really pinpoint what the ordeal was at the back in terms of the back line during normal defensive shape, but did key in on their transitional defense. Feels they've been leaving some gaps between the lines when it's transitioned from offense to defense. A near giveaway there at the back. Now it turns into one. Michel taken down. Aaron Walker thought he got the ball. Kenneth Rojas saw it differently. Another look at the NL replay. Clip that right leg of Michel, the 19-year-old Brazilian, who now positions the free kick. Greenville struggled on set pieces against Tormenta in a 3-1 loss during that rough patch. 2 of those goals came on set pieces, the other on a penalty. They deal with an early set piece here at the back. High line, top of the box. Michel swerves it in. First ball dealt with by Mohammed, and Rosansky comes away with it. Clint PA raved about what Jake Rosansky brings to the midfield. Vital not only to help them win the ball, but also distribute it to start the attack from the back. Closes the spaces very well. Maintains the structure as the vocal leader on the team. Signed late in the fold of the offseason. Got the captain's armband immediately. Over the top to Buck. Battles Murillo. Turns it back to Spalding. Curved in. Center of the box. Sierakowski just misses it. That's what Clint PA was talking about. He feels it's coming for Sierakowski. He's getting into those dangerous areas. Just a matter of that last piece of the puzzle. That was Tyler Freitas who curved it in on the NL replay. Michel. New England on the front foot early on. Possession key for New England. Not something they saw a lot of early in the season, but since the light bulb went on offensively, it's been a big part of their game. Urgency in the attack has been a point of emphasis for Clint PA. Whether it's taking more shots or being better with decision making. Freitas has Buck in the middle. There's Michel as well. Spalding. That's blocked. And Dallas J just saves it before it's out for a corner. Ryan Spalding, a player that Clint PA felt has been under the radar, but has since turned it up. Not only offensively, but defensively. Gets forward a lot on that left wing, but has drawn some tough assignments against the opposition of late and held his ground defensively. Supplied a beautiful goal offensively as well. The game against Madison. Waved off by Kenneth Rojas. Space for Greenville. Out to Morel. Lomas is forward. Gavilanes is forward. Morel keeps it. Morel takes a shot, just wide. A warning shot there from Greenville. They've been on the back foot, but all it takes is one transitional attack, and Morel just missed it on the NL replay. Sent Earl Edwards Jr. flying. A look at the Shields Healthcare Group injury report. More names than Greenville would like to see on there. Mohammed was questionable, but you see he is starting. And then for New England, Mendonça, Connor Presley still out. Both of these teams have played 10 matches this season. New England, a chance to get into the playoff picture with a win today. Would tie them on points with Madison, although Madison would have a game in hand. A glut of teams in the middle of the standings, all with similar point totals, but the games played totals differ. So points per game, something to keep in mind until some teams catch up. Fort Lauderdale and South Georgia have each played 14 games, but they have some time off now. The rest of the teams will begin to catch up. We're almost halfway through the season. More contact there. Gavilanes gets away with it. And now runs out. Gavilanes sends it out left to Morel. We'll have to be careful here. He took that shot last time, and it wasn't far off. Morel, this time, chips it on top of the netting. Alex Morel, someone that John Horrocks called out in the phone call this week, that he wanted to be better. Hasn't been falling, hasn't found that 2020 form just quite yet. But similar to Sierakowski on the other end for New England, feels it's coming for Morel. Again, not far off on the NL replay. just needs to get his groove back, start finding more opportunities. He's found 2 already. Spalding. Freitas has now moved over to the right side. Spalding forward. Sends it across for Sierakowski. Buck makes the run. Sierakowski keeps it. Working on Polak is blocked. Polak a long run. I believe he saved it from a corner. It's just a throw. Polak, time and again, called the best left back in the league by John Harkes. Time and again, he proves it. Back that way and out for a goal kick. Polak, 2-time USL League One first team honoree. Keys to the game brought to you by Geico. For Greenville, just returned to triumph, getting back to those first 5 games and refinding that form that they had at the end of last season, of course, winning the title. And for New England, find your purpose, and that relates to possession. They've been enjoying more of the possession of late, but at times Clint PA has felt it's not purposeful possession, wants the possession to have more purpose in the build-up, in the attacking third and the attacking half, and less so around the back. Goes back to that point of emphasis in the attack that he harped on, having more of a sense of urgency at times. It's paid off after early season struggles offensively. They went on a run of 7 games, excuse me, where in that run only one time did they not have a multi-goal game before their shutout in the midweek against Madison. So 6 of 7 games in that run, they scored more than 1 goal. And that loss in the midweek against Madison, 1-0. Not very disappointed with the performance, just of course frustrated with the result. Felt they were the better of the 2 sides, had opportunities in that one. But after conceding the goal early in the first half, Madison just parked the bus, the way Clint PA put it. You could tell they just sat everybody behind the ball. New England struggled to break down the lines, but when you have 10 guys behind the ball, it's no easy task. So happy with the performance, of course frustrated with the result and the way it played out. But something to build on as they go forward. They're hitting their stride. Morrell in stride. A 3rd shot from Morrell. That's 3 now. 1 was just wide, 1 was just high. This one, he got on target. Could this be the breakout game for Morrell? It's been coming. Sekulius weaves through. Rosansky, give and go, gets it back from Sierakowski. Now Buck. See how Rosansky orchestrates things atop the box, takes a strike, just wide. You don't see that from him a ton. So important defensively, so important in the distribution. Every now and then you put that head down, you take a chance at it. Didn't miss by much. Alice J seemed a bit nervous about it on the NL replay. It was close. Opportunities at both ends for both teams in the early going. I think we will all be happy if this is how this game continues. Open play, end to end the rest of the day. Can we produce a goal? These teams again have met just once before. Last August, the 26th. Greenville entered on a 6-match unbeaten run. They would of course go on to win the title, but that was their first blemish. A 1-0 loss. Ryoshi Mizaki got the goal. Here's Marius Lomas, inside towards Morrell, cut out. Pierre Caillet gets in the way. Oliver Firth had 11 clearances in that game. We highlighted it at the top of the broadcast. He may need to come up big again on that back line with the way Morrell has looked so far early in this one. There was your first look as well at Lomas getting involved today. Coached by Clint PA at North Carolina FC in USL Championship. PA very familiar with how dangerous Lomas could be in and around the box. Not the most athletic, not the fastest, but very experienced, very instinctive. Finds himself in really good positions where all it takes is an easy finish. Just has that goal scorer's mentality. You have to be aware of where he is at all times. The words Clint P.A. used, he manipulates space very well. And if you're not careful, he will burn you. He's done it 8 times this year in 10 games for Greenville.
Yeah, I did an article for New England Soccer Journal about this one goalie who played at Berkshire, the prep school where like Schaffelberg and all those guys have come through. And then he went to Northeastern, and then he played pro in this.
Hemmings had to drop to the back line because of some of the injuries. Now back to his more customary central midfield role. A cross opportunity, Gavilanes! Just misses it. Quarter hour gone. Handful of chances gone by the wayside for Greenville. Gavilanes, golden opportunity. Ball just fell for him, and again it's Morel creating on the NL replay. Gavilanes should have scored there. A 21-year-old from North Plainfield, New Jersey. First pro season out of Marist. 54 appearances, 20 goals, 22 assists there. Starting to find a groove here for Greenville as well. John Harks mentioned that he's starting to show that creativity, that individual ability. One of the revelations from that 5-game and 13-day span with all the injuries. He was thrust into a more prominent role. Michel sent all the way back. Evan Lee in a very advanced position. But Michel dribbles out of it. Distributes down the right wing. Over Polak's head to Sierakowski. Sierakowski cuts in on his left foot. Sierakowski finds the shot. It's blocked by Polak. Great recovery from Tyler Polak. Both coaches so far prophetic. John Harks felt Morel was on the verge of a breakthrough. How many times have I called his name? Clint P.A. feels Sierakowski's on the verge of a breakthrough. How many chances has he had? Just a matter of time for both of them. First jet blue corner kick of the match for New England. Brzezinski, University of Maryland product, will deliver. Put in a good area, top of the 6. Muhammad there. Nobody making that crashing run in the center of the box. Spalding comes through with it. Sierakowski again. Across in front, just out of Rennick's reach. If we had a live expected goal stat, curious what it would be between both of these teams already. Opportunities galore, end to end. Neither able to bag one yet. Julius nods it down to Michel. Brzezinski opens it up. Freitas. Sierakowski again. Freitas continues his run. Sierakowski goes centrally to Brzezinski, the orchestrator in the middle. Challenge between Polak and Sierakowski. Lee comes away with it. Gavilanes gets it forward to Lomas, continues his run. Morel shrieking down that right side. Lomas spots it. Lomas to Morel. What a ball, but the first touch not there. Recovery, though, positive from Morel. As it was from Pierre Caille to cut it off. From one end to the other. Inside. Too far out in front of Sekulius. Lively start to this one. Nearly 20 minutes into it. Polak takes it down. Settled into Walker. Lomas drops deep. Gavilanes. good with the ball at his feet. Gavilanes gets the ball in. Spalding turns it aside. Michel waved up by the official. Aaron Walker the contact. Gavilanes inside. Walker the shot. That one's wide. Took a slight touch. Corner coming for Greenville. Take another look back at that near miss from Renix. Great ball in from Sierakowski. So close from Renix. Pollock sneaks into that space in the box. Delivery comes in. Top of the 6, headed away. Sierakowski getting involved. Hemmings lines it up. It's blocked by a teammate on the way in. Out to Morrell. Flag comes up late. Since 1947, Select has been the leader in soccer ball quality and innovation. Select is the official ball supplier of USL League One and many of the elite leagues throughout Europe. For the latest Select products and special offers, please visit www.selectsportamerica.com. Clint PA would have to be pleased with what he's seen so far, based on the chat we had this week. Wants purposeful possession, wants them to be urgent in the attack, pick out the right pass. They've done it so far. All that's been lacking is a finish. Already 7 shots between these two teams. A couple of opportunities that were just past outstretched legs in front. Joe Malfa here with you. Gillette Stadium in Foxborough, Massachusetts. Once again, happy 4th of July, everybody. Hope you get to enjoy plenty of time with family and friends. Take a break and watch us here. Good one so far between Greenville and New England. They've met just once before last August. 1-0 win for New England, stopping Greenville's season-opening 6-match unbeaten run. One of only 3 losses Greenville endured on the season. Walker out wide. Gavilanes has Lomas in the middle. The flag goes up on Gavilanes. Gavilanes started to show his creativity and individual talent right away in the stretch of 5 games in 13 days. Early on against North Texas, came in as a sub. John Harks feels very comfortable now with Gavilanes in the lineup and what he can do to open up the game. Rosansky finds Freitas. Now Sekulius has Spalding out wide. That's blocked by Muhammad. Ricochets into the box though. Michel keeps it alive. Pollock. Pushing and shoving going on between Hemmings and Michel. Big size difference between those two guys. It's back to Rosansky. Nothing coming easy here for New England. A chance in transition again for Greenville. This is where they felt they had to be better. Gavilanes. That time the flag stays down. Gavilanes cuts it end line, in front. Ricochets a couple of times. Out to Hemmings. Pollock. Hemmings gets the ball in, back post, Edwards there. Edwards bouncing between MLS and League One. Chance to get some minutes today. 43rd pick of the 2015 draft by Orlando City. Michel. Sekulius takes it himself. Michel just misses it. Dallas J has not had to make a save yet, but the alarm bells have been ringing a few times. Look at the NL replay. Again, didn't miss by much. And again, again, the issues popping up for Greenville. Defending quickly in transition. That's where John Harks felt things needed to be cleaned up. They left some gaps between the lines. Zansky intercepts it, handball. The USL is committed to supporting the LGBTQ+ community. Through the Forever Proud project, the USL will strive to create safe and welcoming environments for all fans, players, employees, and partners. Learn more at uslsoccer.com/forever-proud. Possession tilting New England's way so far. Nearly 60-40 split. Gavilanes a long run. Edwards off his line confidently. As we're heading into week 14 of the League One season. Today closes the book on week 13. Six teams will make the playoffs this year. 2 teams, Fort Lauderdale, South Georgia Tormenta, already halfway done with their seasons. With the staggered start to the year, still teams not lining up with the amount of games played. So the standings are tough to look at. You got to look into points per game. But that will all quickly be smoothed over as we get into the summer schedule. North Carolina and Chattanooga have played the fewest so far with 9. Outside of that, with them at 9 on one end and Fort Lauderdale and South Georgia at 14 on the other end. Everybody in the middle, all close now. Greenville, their 11th match, they've got 19 points, sitting in second place in terms of total points. Just behind Union Omaha, 3 points behind. New England sitting in 9th on total points. But a win today would put them into the playoff mix, tied on points with Madison and Tormenta and Toronto. Would be 4 teams tied at 16 points, right around that playoff line from 5th place to 8th place. Second half of this season could be pretty dramatic, with no teams really creating any separation just quite yet, at least in the middle of the table. From 2nd place down to 9th place at the moment, just separated by 5 points. Up to Renix. Back for Buck. Academy product, 16 years old. Leads the way with 3 goals so far. But PA felt his confidence in the finish has helped inspire the others and helped open the floodgates offensively for them. And you look at some of the goals that New England has been scoring. That is producing even more confidence for them. The likes of Sekulius, Spalding, Buck, just scoring absolute world-class goals. Out here goes against Morrell, calling his name now for a different reason after he had a handful of early chances, a couple of shots, created a couple on the distribution. Chance here for Michelle to use that left foot, put one in the corridor of uncertainty ahead of Dallas J. Miss hit from Michelle. Tune in to ESPN2 Saturday, July 17th as the USL on ESPN continues with a Mountain Division clash. Colorado Springs Switchbacks FC at the new Widener Field step into the national spotlight, welcoming San Antonio FC for a 2 p.m. Eastern matinee. Don't miss a second Saturday, July 17th at 2 p.m. Eastern on ESPN2. John Harks looks on what's going through his head as his team tries to get back on track. Lomas could help that case. Lomas in alone. Marius Lomas, goal number 9 for number 9 this season. Just like that, the tide turns in Greenville's favor. And it's the man Clint P.A. was afraid of. Just finding that space. And he found it all right. Look at the NL replay. Great ball in from Muhammad. What Clint P.A. has said, he's not the most athletic, he's not the fastest, but his instinct, his vision, his ability to manipulate that space and get in behind lines, it's the best in the league, and it's showing up with his 9th goal. Lomas spent time with Clint P.A. in USL Championship with North Carolina FC, now of course part of USL League One. And a half an hour into it, Greenville has the lead. We've been waiting for that goal. It's only been a matter of time with the chances we've seen from both sides so far. That was the 10th overall shot of the game. 10 shots in 30 minutes, bound to produce a goal. They've all been quality as well. Welcome back to the lineup for Abdi Muhammad as well. Second assist of the season, threaded it through. He was questionable coming in. The question answered. Greenville started 4-0-1. They're since 1-2-2. But they're out of that tough stretch of 5 matches in 13 days and ready to turn on the afterburners again and go on the kind of run they went on last year. And this will help their case. They're 4-0-2 when scoring the first goal this season. That does not bode well for New England either. 0-5 when conceding first. Tried to coax out of John Harkes and Clint P.A. if there was some sort of friendly wager going on behind the scenes. Would not divulge, but if there is, right now, John Harkes 60 minutes away from getting something out of the deal. Long history between those two. Back at UVA and then DC United. Won a pair of MLS Cups together under Bruce Arena. So plenty of cross-pollination between these two sides. Richie Williams, part of the Revolution. Bruce Arena, head coach of the MLS side. Another set-piece opportunity for New England. At the NL replay, Michel draws another foul. He's been taking a beating today. How can he get the delivery right on the free kick? He'll actually leave this one for Rosansky, as he still tends to that left leg, Michel. Rosansky sends it in with pace. I believe that was last off of Rennick's head on the ricochet. Goal kick coming. Lomas, the goal scorer, commits the foul. John Harkes noted that this year's team has its own distinct identity from last year. Might be easy to try and compare last year's team to this year's as far as a measuring stick, but you can't quite do that. New guys in the fold, Lomas leading the way in the attack. Certainly a different squad, and factor in all the injuries and tight schedule. Not fair to compare the two just quite yet, but at least hopes there are similarities in terms of going on that run and finding their stride the way they did around this juncture last year. Now granted, this juncture last year meant there were a handful of games left in the shortened season. In the context of this year, the race not even halfway over yet. Same goes for New England. This is right around the time they found their stride. Clint P.A. and crew felt that had the season been a normal length season, they would have found their way into the playoffs last year with the way they were playing. Hard to argue with that fact as well, just going back and looking at the performances and the results. And he feels they're finding their stride again this year around the same point in the season. Walker on the giveaway. Walker off the crossbar. Lomas, he pounces on it. He poaches a second. It's a brace for Lomas. 10 goals on the season. Some easier than others. They all count the same on the score sheet. And New England now in a massive hole. Just trouble at the back. Pollock starts it. Walker on the NL replay hits this one perfectly. Off the crossbar, and Lomas is there. Best part about getting to chat with the coaches before games, they know their teams, of course, better than anybody. And they know players in this league better than anybody, especially PA and his relationship with Lomas. And I go back to it, exactly what he said. He knows where to be. He's opportunistic. He makes you pay if you lose track of him. Look where he ends up there. Everybody loses sight of him, and an easy tap in for Lomas. Spalding to Renix. Back for Rosansky. So far, the performance Greenville was searching for to get back on track. Out for a goal kick. Perhaps Lomas had some added motivation today after seeing the way things unfolded last night. We'll have more on the Golden Boot race during halftime. But Emiliano Terzaghi got a brace. Greg Hurst added another goal. Felt his cushion atop the goal sheet was getting a bit too close for comfort. So he goes out and scores 2 in the first 35 minutes. We've already seen a hat trick this year belong to Greg Hurst. He's got plenty of time to get one here, Lomas. Coming into the day, Lomas had 8, and then after last night's performances, Hurst had 7, Terzaghi had 6. Now some more space. Michel finds Sekulius. Spalding makes a run in behind. Sekulius still with it. Sends it in towards Renix. Well done cutting it off. Evan Lee got in the way of Renix, so he could not pressure it and allowed Fricke to get the header off. Freitas waiting for an option. Never materialized. Rosansky sends it in towards Renix. Just out in front. Eight shots, 4 on target for Greenville. With just 42% of the possession, they're making the most of their chances. And it goes back to what Clint P.A. said about having purposeful possession, more so than just the possession itself. Greenville's seen less of the ball, but look what they've been able to do with it. Back to Earl Edwards. Renix was a game changer for New England last year once he was in the fold. Hasn't quite found that form yet this year. Just 1 goal, and this is 11th appearance. To contrast that with last year, 8 starts, 4 goals down the stretch for New England after debuting for the squad midway through the year. In just those 8 starts, it was time for the team lead with 4 goals, but again now, 11th match, just 1 goal so far for Renix. They need to get him going. The 6th homegrown signing in New England Revolution history. Up to Morel. Lomas streaking down the middle, already with 2 goals to his name. Morel feeds it back to Muhammad, assisted that first goal for Lomas. And all the way now for Dallas J. John Harkes offered a unique perspective on Dallas J as well in that 5-match and 13-day stretch. He conceded goals at a rate that he is not accustomed to. The 2-time Keeper of the Year and Golden Glove winner in USL League One. Traveled the world, literally all the way around the globe for his international duty, and came back and had to play those 5 games in 13 days. It was tough on him, physically, mentally, but Harks feels he's better for it, and the team is better for going through that tough stretch. And now out on the other side of it, a little chivvy between Rosansky and Hemmings. Kenneth Rojas wants to chat. A lot of finger pointing going on between them. I don't think that Hemmings got the memo that it's Rosansky's birthday. You got to be nice to a guy when it's his birthday. Chipped over the top to Spalding. Muhammad cleans it up. Murillo sends it further. Julius inside to Spalding. Down a bit easy on the challenge from Muhammad. No call. Morel had his sights set on Lomas. Now has his sights set on a long run in space down the right flank. Kaye cuts him off. Morel still with it. Too much in the end, but earns the corner. 4 minutes to go in the half, plus stoppage time. All Greenville. Looks interesting. 3 guys corner of the box, 3 guys top of the box. This is off the training ground. Walker, he sends it in towards the penalty spot. A lot of eye candy, but not much doing in the end. Fifth multi-goals game of the season so far for Greenville in 11 tries now. Gavilanes. Muhammad calling for it on the opposite side. Never got there. Chance to break in transition for New England. Can they get one back before the halftime break? That would help their cause immensely. Gavilanes. Tried to split the 2 blue jerseys. Freitas comes away with it. Sierakowski to his left. Spalding down the wing. Michel. Rosansky. Freitas. Pressure from behind. Wins it back. Out to Renix. Off of Polak. Gavilanes taken down. Oh, we might see a card come out of the pocket here for Rosansky. He's already had a chat with Kenneth Rojas. Look at the NL replay. Never played the ball right to the body. You imagine the next one will be a card for Rosansky. Now a couple of chats with Rojas already. A look at the live standings in Greenville. If this result holds, would have 21 points. Would put them back securely in second place, just 1 point behind Union Omaha. At the end of the day, they will have both played 11 matches. so no need to do any sort of math in terms of points per game. Omaha, 22 points from 11 games. Greenville, 21 points from 11 games, if this result holds. A look at points per game does come into the equation, though, for Chattanooga, who's got 18 points from 9 games. So they'd be tied in that aspect with Union Omaha, 2 points per game. Greenville a shade under that. As we're nearing the halfway mark of the season for most teams. Again, Fort Lauderdale and South Georgia already there. A lot going on in the mind of Clint PA, I'm sure. What to say in the halftime break. Team down 2 goals against a team that doesn't concede much. Historically, they have in the last 5 games. But obviously mitigating circumstances there with all the injuries and playing 5 matches in 13 days. Uncharacteristic stretch for Greenville where they were allowing 2 goals per game. Compare that to the first 5 games of the season when they were allowing 0.4 goals per game. That's more like it for them. Just 2 minutes of added time here in the first half. And after a rash of early chances for New England, the last 20 minutes or so, Greenville has tightened things up down to the United Healthcare stoppage time. Out to Spalding. Lomas giving chase. He's got 2 goals, and look where he is defending all the way back on the long run. Helped provide the pressure that sent Spalding wide and helped nip that attack in the bud. Michel. Very active first half for Michel. Controlling things in the midfield. Brzezinski. Sierakowski, maybe last chance here in the half for New England to get one back. Sierakowski out to Freitas. Puts it on goal, not what he intended. Looked like a cross that went way too close to the goalkeeper. Will show up as a shot on the stat sheet. But not what Tyler Freitas had in mind, I'm sure. There's the whistle for halftime from Kenneth Rojas. 2 goals for Marius Lomas in a span of 6 minutes. Got it in the 29th and the 35th. League leading 10 goals for that man. As we go into the Gillette halftime show here from Gillette Stadium. Long road back now for New England. They're 0-5 when conceding first, and they'll have to get a pair of goals back against the Greenville side that is 4-0-2 when scoring first this season. Back in a moment with more from this one. Gillette halftime show continues. Welcome to the Gillette Halftime Show. We had a very busy Saturday in League One, so let's kick off this halftime show with a look at the highlights from the day that was. 4 games in all, 8 teams in action, 5 goals in this game between Richmond and North Texas, and one better than the next to start things off. In the 26th minute, Gibran Rayo finds Kazu for the finish, and that gets things going for North Texas. Here's where the things picked up, though, with the goals. 34th minute, Emiliano Terzaghi will get the pass out from the wing after the initial save. Juan Pablo Monticelli puts it in. Watch this flick from the Argentinian. His 5th goal of the season. We'll hear more from him in just a bit. Now this one might be competing with Terzaghi for goal of the week. Jorge Almaguer, what a finish. Side netting, what a blast. That tied things up, put North Texas ahead. But then it would be Terzaghi to tie things up from a place where he is so deadly, the penalty spot. A chance for a brace, converts it. 2-2, both goals for Terzaghi. And then late on in this one, 71st minute, Jonathan Bolaños, watch this one. Watch it very, very closely. Post, what happened there? Where's the ball? It's out of the net. We'll slow it down for you. Closer look. Off the post, past the keeper, off that back bar, in the goal, and out. They knew it. They celebrated it. They win it 3-2. It's Darren Sawatsky's first ever win over North Texas. Big one for Richmond. They sit just 1 point below the playoff line. Now Tormenta and North Carolina. Not a lot going on in this game for either team. The best chance of the match belonged to Marco Micheletto on a penalty. He had a chance in this one late. 79th minute, and he puts it wide. It ends 0-0. Tormenta still in 5th place right now above the playoff line, but they've already played 14 matches. Now, top of the table clash. Coming into this one, these two teams by far the best early on in the season. Greg Hurst has been scoring like crazy for Omaha, and he does it against his former team. Scored a lot of goals like that for Chattanooga last year. Now scores one against his former team. But there's a theme this year with Chattanooga. They like to score late. They never say die. It's unbelievable how often they've done this in the early portions of this season. The initial shot comes in. It's stopped by Rashid Nuhu and the post, and then Marky Hernandez finishes it. Post, save, and then a goal. That was 90+1. 6 goals in the last 15 minutes this season for Chattanooga. They currently sit in 2nd place, just 4 points behind Omaha, but Chattanooga and Marky Hernandez have 2 games in hand. Some love there between Greg Hurst and the Chattanooga coaching staff. Last game of the night in the desert, Tucson, Fort Lauderdale. These two teams have played very exciting games ever since Fort Lauderdale joined the league last year. It was Derek Korf who started things off in the 34th minute with some help from Luis Zamudio, but Tucson's goalie, Wallace Lapsley, would return the favor in the 48th minute. Poor play with the feet. Now, he's got 38 saves, leading the league. We'll cut him some slack, but this lapse leads to a goal. 1-1, Tucson and Fort Lauderdale. Now, we've seen a couple of late goals. We saw Hernandez 90+1. We saw Bolaños in the 71st. How about Manu Ferriol in the 74th to give John Perlman his first win as the interim coach of FC Tucson. A big win for them in the desert. They're trying to climb the ladder. They sit in 10th place with 12 points, but in that congestion there in the middle, they're only a couple of games back from that playoff line after that big win on Saturday night. More in a moment here on the Gillette Halftime.
Hey everyone, this is Oscar Jimenez from Louisville City FC.
Hi, my name is Carl Howarth. I currently play for the Indy 11.
What's up everybody? It's Connor Sparrow with the Miami FC.
Josué Soto checking in here. Austin Bold FC.
Hello guys, this is Luis Herrera from El Paso Locomotive. Just wanted to share with you guys my favorite soccer moment, and that will be the day I made my professional debut for El Paso, which is my hometown.
Anderson swings it in. Barry making the run, gets a deflection. He puts it in. Colorado Springs has its lead. And the save from Cardoni. It's there, and Cardoni with a huge save. Beautiful ball through, and that's in.
Brilliant.
news, notes, and stats this week. Catching up on some stats around USL Championship and League One. 10,000th goal scored at the championship level. League One at 756 entering today. Who will get that milestone 800th? Might be a couple of weeks away. We'll see depending on how active the games are. JT Camara, maybe he'll factor in. He had an assist and scored in this past week for North Carolina's first win on Friday. And interim head coach John Perlman got his first win in charge of FC Tucson in their home debut Saturday night. A lot of goal scorers on this list. As always, Greg Hurst got one against his former team. You look up and down the list. Ryan Spalding scored a great one as well against forward Madison. A lot of New England players on there. We'll see if any of them could factor in again in the coming week. The goals leaders, Marius Lomas. This is all entering today, of course. 8 goals coming in. Hurst with 7, Terzaghi with 6. And those guys had big nights last night. Terzaghi had a brace, and Hurst had one as well. Rashid Nuhu came up just shy of the Golden Glove last year. He's leading the way right now. 0.7 goals against in 10 matches this season. Joe Rice qualifies. He's played at least half of his team's matches, so he's right there in second place entering today. Look back at that scoreboard. Again, we're chasing 800 goals. If we keep having weeks like this where Richmond and North Texas combine for 5 and you see all those goals all the way around, we'll get there before you know it. And now this Friday night, the first ever meeting between New England and Toronto here in USL League One. Of course, with Toronto having to take the year off last year, didn't get to play each other. It was New England's inaugural season. Toronto has snuck right up to that playoff line. They started the season late, but now 12 games into it, 16 points. South Georgia, Forward Madison, and Toronto all have 16, all right there. New England just below them with 13 points. A big matchup in terms of potential playoff implications as we're now into July. And a look at the rest of the upcoming schedule for Week 14 here in League One. A couple of teams at the top of the table, Chattanooga, Greenville, home games, looking to improve their standing. And North Texas trying to get back on track. The 2019 champions reeling. They're down in 11th place, and they have a tough Forward Madison team currently sitting above that playoff line. We're back to our game in a moment with highlights and stats from the first half of New England and Greenville here on the Gillette Halftime Show. Quite the hill to climb for New England Revolution 2. Down a pair against Greenville Triumph. We'll see how it goes into half number 2. Look at the first half highlights that put Greenville where they are in the driver's seat of this one, brought to you by Gillette. A lot of chances early on for both teams. There was a flurry of opportunities for New England early on. Jake Rosansky helped create some of them, and this one he just took himself, picked his head up, put his laces through it, and put it just wide. Dallas J, some alarm bells going off early. Had to die for a couple of opportunities like that. But New England unable to cash in. Sierakowski puts this one right in front. Torenix might have been offside anyway. We'll never find out because he didn't get a foot to it. Now Marius Lomas got a foot to this one. 29th minute. The ball was threaded through by Abdi Muhammad after the giveaway from Spalding. Timed the run perfectly. Earl Edwards Jr. got a touch to it, but not the whole thing. And it ends up being number 9's 9th goal of the year. He didn't have to wait too long to become the first double-digit scorer of League One in 2021. A shot off the crossbar later on, and he pounced on it in front. Polak helped create the opportunity by pressuring Sierakowski. Walker, a lightning strike off the crossbar, and Lomas just snuck away from everybody right there. Easy tap-in. Clearly onside by a couple of yards, but nobody reacted to it. 8 shots to 4, 3 on target to none in favor of Greenville. 2 of them have gone in. For New England, 58% possession, but not a whole lot else. Halftime stats brought to you by Geico. And again, it goes back to what Clint P.A. was saying. That possession needs to be more purposeful. So far, it hasn't amounted to anything on the score sheet for New England. Greenville coming off of a stretch of 5 games in which they went 1-2-2, playing very uncharacteristic soccer for their standards, the 2020 champions. All they needed was some rest, it appears. They finally got a full week off. Out with a 2-0 lead. Trying to get back on track. Currently, in the live standings, sitting in second place is the point behind Union Omaha. And for New England, a battle to try to get above that playoff line. Very crowded middle of the standings. They can't come up with a point here. Puts them a bit deeper in the hole, but still plenty of time to come in this season. J.J. Donnelly into the match for Greenville. I'll get you the specifics on that substitute in a moment. Underway in half number 2. Gavilanes, the player checking out, brought to you by Santander for J.J. Donnelly. Gavilanes had a very lively first half, created a couple of opportunities. New England 4-5-1. Greenville 5-2-3. A chance for vengeance today at Gillette Stadium, where they fell 1-0 last year on August 26th. It was their first loss of the season, but on their way to righting the ship. Joe Malfa here with you for the action. Once again, happy 4th of July. Plenty of fireworks shows to come later tonight, I'm sure, around the country. Marius Lomas has supplied his own with both goals for Greenville so far. Play stops for an injury behind the plate. Michel on the ground in some pain. Michel, the 19-year-old from Brazil, 7 starts this season coming in. Now 10 appearances, 8 starts on the season. Another look at the NL replay. Just ran right into Polak. We've seen him on the ground a lot today. Greenville players have contested him. Tried to prevent him from getting into a rhythm the way he can distribute in that midfield. Holding his shoulder. Hope everything turns out all right for Michel. One of the many bright young players for New England. Body language indicates he's ready to run right back on the field once Kenneth Rojas waves him on. On the touchline, just waiting for the signal. And there it is. Rojas beckons him on. Back to full strength for both sides. Michel right back on the ball as well. Over the top looking for Sierakowski. New England has seen a 2-0 lead evaporate once this season on this field against Chattanooga. Can they overcome a 2-goal deficit here? Spalding cuts it back. Bypasses Renix for Michelle. Michelle in space. Doesn't seem to be showing any ill effects of that last challenge when he went off for a moment. Spalding feeds it forward for Sierakowski and continues his run. Spalding has seen his former North Carolina teammate Marius Lomas burn that back line of New England twice today. They spent time there with Clint PA as the coach in USL Championship, or one of the coaches, excuse me, not the head coach. J.J. Donnelly runs onto it. 4 blue jerseys surrounding. Pulls through and taken down. Whistle goes the other way. Pollock steps up, wins it for Greenville. Walker had that shot off the crossbar that led to the Lomas second goal. Draws a foul here. Wanted to go quickly, but Rosansky steps over the ball. Flag goes up on Hemmings. Quickly taking a no buck. Right under pressure. Kaya being chased by 2 members of the Triumph. Good flick header onto Buck from Sierakowski. Returns the favor, Buck, but too far out in front of Sierakowski. Chatting with Clint PA, noted that it's no secret Greenville's a really good team. They're not going to be fooled by the recent run of form they've had. They know that Greenville's dealt with injuries. They've had a tight schedule. And at its core, it's a team with a championship DNA, with plenty of holdovers from that team last year and some new faces in the mix like Lomas. They knew this would be a tough challenge today. And it's proven to be maybe tougher than they realized it would be. Down 2, 40 minutes to go to try to get something back. Hemmings. Spalding gives it away. Faced into the palms. Just ran past the ball, clicked off the heel. Morel. Flashed early with 3 shots and a couple of feeds that nearly led to goals. It's quieted down since then, but Greenville hasn't played the same way since they went up 2 goals. A little bit more defensive since then. Walker. Donnelly retrieves. Pollock coming with the long overlapping run. Pollock made an appearance for New England Revolution in MLS back in the 2012-13 year. Michel out to Sekulius. Transitional attack for New England. Sekulius is deflected into the arms of Dallas J. With the numbers they had and the pace Michel carried it with, that needed to be better in the end. But PA wants them hitting the target at least 6 to 8 times per game. And so far in this one, depending on how that one officially gets scored, that would be their first shot on target. Hemmings taken down by Michel. Morel darts in. Now to Polak. Service from Tyler Polak. Center of the box, Lomas nods it down. Heavy touch. Mohammed. Good opportunity here for Greenville to recapture their early season form and go on a bit of a run here. If this performance is any indication to JJ Donnelly. Not going to trouble Edwards with that one. After today, Greenville gets into a more rhythmic schedule of just one game a week. They don't have another midweek game until the beginning of September. Big clash coming on July 24th at Chattanooga. Two of the top teams in the league, second and third place respectively. Julius dispossessed by Polak. Space for Morel against Michel. Alex Morel forward with it, sends it towards Lomas. But it's behind the man sitting on 2 goals right now. Chance for the hat trick. Join Greg Hurst, who has one already this year and who is currently chasing Lomas in the Golden Boot race. 10 now for Lomas, 7 for Hurst. And that hat trick for Hurst came against New England. So an opportunity for Lomas to get the league's second hat trick this year, and both at the expense of Revolution 2. Another look at that opportunity on the NL replay for a foul call that never came. Long toss to Edwards, foul in the box against Donnelly. In this sport, you have games where you don't get the result, but you're happy with the performance. You have games where you don't get the result, and you're unhappy with the performance. Substitution here for New England. Manny Silva enters. Michael Sekulius exits, brought to you by Santander. Now New England's performance in the midweek against Madison, one of those where unhappy with the result, of course, a 1-0 loss, but happy with the performance. Today, though, so far, one of those where you're happy with neither the result or the performance. Still 30 minutes to change that. But a tall ask against this Greenville squad. See if Manny Silva can help impact things. He's calling for the ball there. It's still Kaye inside. Buck. Silva pounces to it. Just into the match. Now Rosansky. Michel. Inside, Buck across. Jay there. Just trickling towards that far post. Another look at the NL replay. Battle in and around the box. Yielded the chance for New England. Had Jay not have touched it, Muhammad seemed to have that post covered, but two-time goalkeeper of the year and Golden Glove winner gets that right hand to it. New England, like Greenville, doesn't have a midweek game until the beginning of September either. Chance to get into a rhythm. This one sent in towards Sierakowski. Was it off of him, Lash, or the defender? It's a corner. Murillo got his head to it. Clear there on the NL replay. Then it comes off Cesar Murillo. Jet blue corner kick for Michel. Curls it in towards Renix. Knotted down by Mohamed. Kaye puts his foot in, tries to keep it alive. Michel under it. Turns, past Walker. Overlap comes from Rosansky. Michel goes inside with it. Falls for Manny Silva. Spalding strikes it. Dipping with the left foot. Pleads for a deflection. But it's a goal kick. Andrew Booth entering the match for Greenville. Max Hemmings will exit, brought to you by Santander. One hour gone here at Gillette Stadium, half hour to go. Joe Malfa here with you for the action on ESPN Plus. Independence Day special in USL League One. Greenville looking to get back on track. Commanding 2-0 lead, granted to them by Marius Lomas. A brace for the league's leading scorer, the first to double digits. Booth, first bit of action, given away. All the way now for Dallas J as Greenville resets. In the first half, New England saw much more of the ball, 58% of it. Nearly a 50-50 split here in the second half as Greenville flexes its muscles, settles in, and looks to prevent New England from having any opportunities at getting back in this one. Manny Silva. Michel taken down again. Eighth foul against Greenville. By my count, 5 of them have been against Michel. So good with the ball, like Velcro to his foot. Michel down the line. Too far out in front of Tyler Freitas. On the road, can't watch the match? Turn on Sirius XM FC, North America's only 24/7 source of soccer radio, featuring Ray Hudson, Tony Miola, Rodney Marsh, and the brand new USL All Access, featuring Mike Watts and Devin Kerr every Tuesday at 7 p.m. Eastern. Fans of the USL can now listen to the best matches of the week, along with action from MLS, the Premier League, and the UEFA Champions League. Sirius XM FC channel 157 on your Sirius XM radio and the Sirius XM app. Firth knocks it down to the ground. He had 11 clearances when these teams met last year. Vital defensively for New England too. Hasn't been with the team much this year, has spent large chunks of time with Bruce Arena in the MLS. This is his third start for Revs 2 this year. Fourth appearance overall in League One. Booth to Donnelly. A pair of subs here in the second half combining for Greenville. Kaye comes away with it. Morel picks up the pace, puts it in the middle towards Booth. Intervention made by Kaye. Top of the box for a shot by Walker. It's deflected. Morel just lets it go. Offside. Wisely done. Corner now for Greenville. Greenville's used 2 subs. New England just 1. They both only used 1 substitution window. Morel to deliver. Polak pounces on it. Walker looks for an option, back to goal. It's out to Morel. Morel dispossessed by Rosansky. And a chance to get a second cross in. But it's one back again. Fricky to Lomas. Took him a bit too wide. Sticking about a quick shot. Trying to get that hat trick. Booth sent it off of Spalding. Pause here for another substitution. Alex Morel's day is done. Jacob Goodall's day begins. Brought to you by Santander. John Harkes wanted to see Morel step up, start to recapture the form he had in 2020. Today was a good step in the right direction. Had a few shots, created a lot of opportunities. Lively all day up and down the wing. Didn't yield an assist, didn't yield a goal, but very involved in the action. A lot to handle for New England. Another foul drawn by Michel. Rosansky. Birthday boy finds Michel and gets it back. Verfurth. Now Freitas. Michel calling forward in the middle, gets it. Here's that possession spell again for New England. Can they be purposeful with it, as Clint P.A. calls for? Purposeful in the build, urgent in the final third, and wise in the decision making. They want 6 to 8 attempts on target per game. They only have 1 today. Silva flies in. Draws the foul. Goodall commits it. Now Polak brings down Noel Buck. Dennis Ramirez getting set to check in for New England. Up at the halfway line. Good ball from Kaye. Good idea from Buck. Now Spalding. Spalding tries his luck, but it's blocked. We've seen him score from there before this season. Buck, a chance to get a ball in. Serves it. Knocked away. Falls for Michel. Not much on it. Not enough, at least, to get it to Freitas. Polak intervenes. Muhammad. Acres of space down the wing. Lomas calling for it already. It's sent that way. Lomas, 2 goals already, lays it off for Booth. Booth to Goodall. Firth fronts it. Back again for Goodall. Curled in. Booth takes it down. Needed to be better in that last bit, but the flag came up anyway. Greenville indicating they want to go forward, find the third, and put this one to rest. Not sitting back. They've seen much more of the ball here in the second half as well as compared to the first half. Still a 50-50 split as opposed to 58-42 in that first half. So Greenville not allowing New England to settle into those long spells of possession. Renix. Into the middle towards Sierakowski, but it never got there. Walker got ahead to it. Week 13 coming to a close in USL League One. Look at some of the other scores from around the league. On a busy Saturday, 4 games yesterday. Two subs at once here for New England. Colby Quinones joins Dennis Ramirez. They are entering for Nobuck and Tyler Freitas. Both subs brought to you by Santander. Two subs remaining for New England during one substitution window. Same goes for Greenville. Kaye. Space for the center back. Sierakowski lifted the foot. The run never came from the outside. United Soccer League, all 12 League One clubs and its players stand together in support of diversity, inclusivity, equality, and compassion. For more information on the USL's commitment to change through the United Against Racism campaign, visit uslsoccer.com. For Firth, poor touch. Fortunately, drifted far enough away from Lomas. Balding to Rosansky. Polak just clears it. For the W, the USL recently announced the formation of the USLW League, providing increased equity and opportunity for women looking to pursue careers in soccer, both on and off the pitch. Comprised of clubs from across the Championship, League One, League Two, and new expansion markets, the W League is set to begin play in 2022 in more than 30 communities across the United States. Head over to uslwleague.com to learn more. Kaye Space again for the center back. He takes it and the shot. Rises in the 15th row. PA happy with what he's seen from Kaye this year in his role on that back line. It's a back line that's ever changing for New England in terms of the shape and structure of it, not so much the personnel. Sometimes it's a look of 3 at the back, sometimes 4. Change it around a bit. But either way, now they're under pressure from Lomas. The hair tie came out. The flowing locks of Marius Lomas with 2 goals already today. Took a second to realize it was him after the hair tie came out. Look at the NL replay as he's taken down. Goes to get another one. Squad is 4-1-2 when he scores this season. On their way to a 5th win. Polak. Edwards there. Contact in the box. Not enough to elicit a foul call. Renix springs the attack to Sierakowski. As quickly as it seemed to begin, it ended. Murillo stepped in. Quarter hour to go. Greenville seemingly on the way to 3 points, 3 very important points. Quinones serves it up towards Renix. Jay is there. Be good for Jay's confidence and that back line's confidence to keep a clean sheet here as well. Did not keep a single clean sheet during that 5-match stretch where they went 1, 2, and 2. 10 goals on the season for Marius Lomas across 8 games. Seemingly again on their way to 5-1-2 when he scores a goal. Booth towards Lomas. A chance for a hat trick if he could turn. Unselfishly laid it off for Donnelly. Donnelly went the wrong way. All credit to John Harkes. Said that this team not at all had any panic in them during that stretch. They obviously knew the mitigating circumstances of 5 games in 13 days and all the injuries. Just had to get back on track. Today will help their confidence. That one sent too far from Renix. Unhappy with Continental Tire there. Look at the NL replay. It's been a frustrating go of it for Renix today and this season. 11th appearance, just 1 goal, as compared to 4 goals in 8 appearances last year. Flicked on by Lomas to Donnelly. Working on Kaye.
Go, go, move! Go foul, yes! Keep him there! Marius, put the left! Put the left!
If there was any buzz about Greenville not being the same team they were last year, I think they put those narratives to bed today, showing that it truly had everything to do with the injuries and the schedule. So many players missing, 5 games in 13 days. They get Muhammad back today. He supplies the assist on the first goal for Lomas. And a chance now for a hat trick. Lomas puts it wide. Favorable upcoming schedule, too, for Greenville. Goodall supplied the service. Not a bad hit from Lomas. Another meeting with bottom of the table North Carolina coming up for Greenville, followed by a match against Tormenta. One will be a tough one. Tormenta just beat Greenville 3-1. But again, that came during that difficult stretch. Greenville will have that game at home, and obviously looking for revenge in that one. The two remaining fixtures then in July at Chattanooga on the 24th. That's a big one. Second and third place at the moment. Greenville in second, Chattanooga in third. And then at Toronto to end the month. So a chance for Greenville to pick up some major points in July. Lomas sent away by Kaye. But Lomas back on it. Muhammad. Booth. Back to Muhammad. Just a second ever meeting between these two teams, and it looks like Greenville is going to even the score. A 1-0 win for New England last year. Greenville on the way to 3 points today. New England has Toronto coming up, and out west to face Tucson before coming back home to face Toronto again, and then North Carolina at home to begin August. After that stretch, though, for New England, a couple of big ones against teams they're competing with. Those 5th and 6th playoff spots, they're in and around that area right now. Big games coming up against Tormenta. John Harks noted that the defense for this squad in the system starts from the top in, starts with the transition defending. They felt it's been a little slow, it's created some gaps that teams have exploited. New England had a couple of cracks at exploiting those gaps in transition earlier, never capitalized. Flag gonna pop up here on Donnelly. But after that early stretch of chances for New England, Greenville has hunkered down and not given any opportunities. 10 shots for New England, all but maybe 3 of them have been harmless, and only 2 of them on target. Quinones fizzes it in. Catch made securely by Dallas J. Aaron Walker, Max Hemmings, Tyler Pollock, Alan Gavilanes, players that John Harks pointed out really stepped up and impressed and improved during that rough patch, and all of them played very well today. Gavilanes' day ended at the half, was subbed out for Donnelly. Created a handful of opportunities in the first half. Walker has been immense in the midfield, as was Hemmings before he was subbed out. Walker had the shot off the crossbar that led to the second Lomas goal. And Pollock forced a turnover that led to that second goal. So both of them factoring in. Kaye chips it in. Knocked away before it got to Silva. Walker just clears it. Up towards Lomas. Keeps it in. Lomas against Verfurth. Will a runner emerge from the middle? Lomas still with it. Lomas, chance at a hat trick. Cuts in. Lomas the shot, and he's got it! 3 for Marius Lomas. Second League One hat trick of the season. Both have come against New England. That man's on fire. He's got 11 on the season and 3 on the day. all alone. Lomas Verfurth on the NL replay, waiting for more bodies to enter the fray. Lomas just puts the head down, does it himself. Earl Edwards frozen, beaten at the near post.
5 minutes! 5 minutes!
If there was any doubt left in this one, that erased it. The look of a man who took yesterday's goal scoring by Emiliano Terzaghi and Greg Hurst personally. Saw his lead dwindling in the Golden Boot race. Answers with 3 goals of his own today. 11th game of the year for Greenville, 11 goals for Lomas. New England first team, this is a stat you don't want to be a part of, but first team in League One history to give up a hat trick, multiple hat tricks. And both come this year, Hurst and Lomas. Michel serves it up. Contact in the box. Still alive. A little bit too far for Sierakowski as New England tries to salvage something from this one. Over the top for Michel. Sierakowski screaming for it at the penalty spot. Michel kept it. Sierakowski didn't look too happy. Goal kick. Couple more changes for Greenville. Looks like Lomas will get the exit he deserves after today's hat trick. Jesus Ibarra checking in, as is Will Mejia. Evan Lee, the other one to give way. Subs today brought to you by Santander. Quinones in space on the right side. Blocked by Polak. How many times have I said that today? Polak has been in and around everything down that wing. Offensively and defensively, just pesky. Forced a turnover that led to that second Lomas goal. Now Spalding cuts in. Ryan Spalding the shot into the concourse. Final substitution window for New England. Hikaru Fujiwara will enter the match, and Michel will exit. What a performance from Michel today. Silver lining for New England. To you by Santander. Was fouled 6 times in the match, won 11 duels. A couple of shots to go with that. '89th minute, down 3-0, and look at the run from Spalding. Fighting till the last, turn from Rosansky. Chance to get a ball in, serves it. Renix and Sierakowski, just miscommunication, both made the same run for the penalty spot. Free kick coming for New England. Spalding serves it up. Back post, header off the bar. Fujiwara just came in and nearly got a goal. Still on here. Quinones sends it in. Out for a corner. 90th minute. Positive signs here from New England. Could just very easily slump the shoulders, lower the head, tail between the legs, and end this one. JetBlue corner kick is sent away, but they're fighting till the end. Sent in again by Fujiwara, but never turned the way he hoped it would. Sierakowski helps out Dallas J, grabs the ball. Look at that last chance on the NL replay. Four minutes of United Healthcare stoppage time. Just a formality now. Greenville, 3 goals for 3 points. All of them belonging to Marius Lomas. Emotion from Fujiwara after his miss off the crossbar. Spalding. That one spun a couple of different ways off the foot. Started curling into the penalty spot, then faded away. Spalding. Gathering of blue jerseys in the box. Never gets there on the service. Ramirez. Back to Kaye. Handball for Rosansky. New England's come up with 7 shots in this second half. They hit a crossbar in the 89th minute. It's been a little bit too little, too late. Goals change games, and they had opportunities early in the first 15 minutes. A few dangerous ones to get the opener. Unable to cash in. Marius Lomas does so in the 29th minute. And just 6 minutes later, doubled his tally. Ends the day with a hat trick. Clint PA and crew, I think, will be left saying what could have been if any of those early opportunities went in. Changed the entire complexion of the game. Maybe put some doubt in the minds of a Greenville team that has been reeling. Ibarra in the middle. Donnelly, a chance for a 4th and the exclamation point. But Booth loses it. Quinones. Finds Sierakowski. Assistant referee's flag went up, was thinking about calling the foul, but immediately waved off by Kenneth Rojas. 30 seconds to go. One last foray forward for New England. If anything can be salvaged from this one. Polak steps in. A fitting end to this one with the impact Polak has had. Final whistle. 3 for Greenville, 3 for Marius Lomas. And a big 3 points for the Triumph. Two good friends, John Harkes, Clint PA embrace. I'm sure they'll chat about this one during the week. If they did have any friendly wagers, they go the way of John Harkes and his Triumph squad. Masterclass from Greenville today. A smile on the face of John Harkes. Haven't seen it too often the last couple of weeks. 5 matches in 13 days. They went 1-2-2. But a big one today. Needed this one to get back on track. And they delivered. Man of the match, brought to you by United Healthcare, goes to Michel. Valiant performance for New England in the defeat. Drew 6 fouls, won 11 duels, had 3 shots. So a good day for Michel, the 19-year-old Brazilian. Now that takes us into the play of the match. All the way back in the first half, 17th minute. It's an opportunity for New England. Brought to you by NL. Sierakowski had it on the wing. Fed it in to Renix, and this was one of those chances I was talking about early. Had it have been finished, would have changed the outlook of the game. Unable to convert. They let Greenville convert first, and they would do so 3 more times in all. Back in a moment to wrap this one up on the Santander postgame show. Greenville 3, New England none. Joe Malfa back here with you from Gillette Stadium. 3 for Greenville, none for New England. Tough performance for the home side, but a great day for Greenville. Marius Lomas there on the right side of your picture in the huddle with John Harkes. Had all 3 for Greenville. Go back to the 11th minute of this one for the save of the game. Brought to you by Michelob Ultra. A lot of opportunities early on for Greenville. Earl Edwards was beaten a couple times on the day. Comes up with this save against Alex Morrell on the shot from distance. Morrell had a strong day, but was kept off the score sheet in the end. Look now at the full-time highlights brought to you by Gillette. Start with the goal from Marius Lomas. Abi Muhammad back in the lineup today. Splits 3 defenders to Lomas. Edwards gets a piece of it. ends up in the back of the net. The first of 3 for Lomas. A few minutes later, Polak down the wing with Gavilanes. They'd lose possession. Sierakowski would turn and try to play out of it. Polak blocks it. Gets it out to Walker. Strike off the crossbar. Lomas just escaped out the back door. All the defenders watching him, none of them pressing him. Easy tap in. His 10th goal of the year, his second of the day. 55th minute into the second half now. Just more opportunities for Greenville. This one in to Donnelly. Didn't get as much on it as he hoped. Easy grab for Edwards. A couple minutes later, there were chances at both ends. Here's one for New England. Comes inside. Buck powers through. Ultimately falls for a shot by Noel Buck. At Dallas J grab with the right hand on its way to the back post. One of just 2 shots on target on the day for New England. And then here is the exclamation point for Marius Lomas. 2 hat tricks in the league this year, both against New England. The first for Greg Hurst, the second for Marius Lomas. Your leader in the Golden Boot race. He's got 11, Hurst has 7, Terzaghi has 6. Those guys both scored yesterday. Lomas didn't take kindly to it, got 3 of his own today. Look at the full-time stats brought to you by Geico. 3-0 Greenville wins. No cards in this one, a clean game for both sides. Shots about even. Shots on target go Greenville's way. Possession New England's way, but not as purposeful as Clint PA had hoped. Take a look at the Dan O'Brien Automotive Group standings. Things are tightening up all over the place. Look at the middle, from 3 all the way down to 9, just separated by 5 points. That'll change with Chattanooga having those games in hand, and they'll join those couple at the top. Omaha 22 in 11 games. Greenville 21 in 11 games. Chattanooga 18 points from 9 games. It's getting tight as we go into the summer. Things are heating up in the playoff races. John Harkin, they're in their usual spot atop the table. Right behind Union Omaha. A big win they needed today to get back on track. 3-0 on the road against New England, place where they lost last year, avenging that defeat. For the rest of my crew, I'm Joe Malfa. Happy 4th of July, everybody. Get out to your barbecues, enjoy the day, and come back for Week 14 in USL League One starting this week.
This copyrighted telecast of the United Soccer League League One cannot be retransmitted, rebroadcast, or reproduced without the expressed written consent of the United Soccer League League One.